Welcome back to the deep dive. Our sources describe this ongoing journey, the lanterns of becoming, and right now, well, we're making a shift, moving out of that big summer energy.
Yeah, definitely cooling down. We
Yeah.
spent the last deep dive really soaking in that summer phase, guided by Big B. No,
Oh, yeah. Big B was all about the courage to act, that sort of intuitive rhythm, getting things done.
exactly. The energy of doing. And Big B's big insight, if you recall, was that deciding where not to put your energy is also a form of creation.
Which was powerful. But now the world's changing. It feels like the mind needs to switch gears, too.
It does. We're heading quite sharply, actually, into autumn. And
Mm-hmm.
the avatar here is little s.
Little less. And she's different, very different from Big B. Focused on what? Analysis? Order.
Precisely. Analytical processing and order, that's little s. The courage for autumn, the sources say it's sharp, is the courage to understand.
Okay, so not about action anymore.
No, summer handled the action. Autumn's mission is about readying the mind, seeing the world less like a tangle and more like a map, the pattern of leaves.
A map. I like that. Okay, so let's unpack this. How does Littlest start building this map? What's the main tool?
The fundamental tool, the new thing for autumn, are the digital eyes.
Digital eyes. Sounds techie.
Sort of, but it's how they work that's fascinating. They don't just, flatten everything into data points on a grid.
No.
No, they allow the world to overlap. It's like they lay these shimmering, intuitive lines over surfaces, seeing the structure that's already there.
That sounds almost mystical. For an avatar focused on logic, the text even says the architect saw through them, the avatar felt seen back.
Right. There's this interesting feedback loop. Does the avatar's need for order reflect something fundamental in the universe?
That's a great question. Is order just imposed, or is it discovered?
Little s means to think it's discoverable. She's using this new site on just, the everyday suburban world, looking for what the sources call a golden order.
Not looking for anything new, but the repetition.
Exactly. The quiet, predictable ways things connect.
And the first examples are infrastructure, right? Sidewalk seams, driveway cracks.
Yeah, she starts stacking these geometric patterns. Sidewalk lines connect to driveway edges, connect to those score lines in the street. It all becomes one continuous, organized plane.
Like seeing the blueprint beneath the surface?
Kind of, and it goes beyond just straight lines. The digital eyes pick up on fractal patterns too, the branching math.
Branching map.
Yeah, tree trunk to branch, branch to twig. And then seeing that same pattern mirrored on the ground, a concrete slab connects to a joint, connects to a tiny crack.
Ah, so the world repeats itself.
In 1,000 polite ways, as the text puts it. And for a little less, this isn't boring, it's
Reassuring.
incredibly reassuring, especially when the season itself feels like it's about things falling apart. This underlying order is settling for the analytical mind.
It manages the cognitive load, maybe sets a baseline.
I think so. And this sense of order gets reinforced physically, too, through the avatar's form, the chair body.
Right, the chair body. It's described as acting like a sibling, gently guiding.
Yeah, exactly. So, picture this. A tree root has pushed up a section of sidewalk. The chair body's wheels or casters, they just pause. It's a soft no. A physical, not that way.
Ah, the wisdom of refusal. I like that phrase.
It's key for autumn. That little physical hesitation gives the digital eyes a moment. Time to draw a faint second path over the first, like a pencil correction.
So knowledge builds up quietly, without drama, without forcing it.
Accretes without drama. That's the phrase. It suggests organizational efficiency isn't about brute force, but finding the smoother path, acknowledging resistance, moving around it.
That's organizational maturity, really, not just building the map, but refining it
That's
constantly.
exactly. Quiet, constant refinement. That's the core work. Tidiness through gentle physics, teaching the mind how to organize itself.
Okay, so that quiet refinement, seeing the lines, that's step one. But then there's this idea of overlap, meaning something more.
Yes, this is a really big step for little s. Moving from just mapping the lines to understanding their complexity, she sees reflections in windows.
Doubling and tripling images.
Right. And the insight she gets is profound. Overlap doesn't mean error, it means depth. A person or an idea can be two and still be one.
Wow. Okay, that's huge. Because summer, Big B, was about clear, direct action. But little s is learning that complexity, even contradiction, is okay. It's part of reality.
It's integral, yeah, not a sign of failure. The self is layered. And while the eyes are processing these layers,
What about the other senses? The ears?
the ears take on a different role now, too. They're less about soaking everything in, like
Yeah.
in summer, and more like cursor keys for the eyes.
Cursor keys? How so?
They help orient sight. They pick up on specific cues that direct the eyes. Like a certain sound might make little s look towards its source to gather more data.
And smells too, right? Autumnal smells carrying information.
Definitely. The dry smell of leaves means paper, something to be noted, maybe cataloged. The cold tang of iron off a railing means incoming night, a variable for the plan. Everything feeds the organizational process. Preparation.
Preparation for the quiet, darker times ahead. And this leads her to notice human attempts at order.
It does. There's this scene near a playground, a child drawing hopscotch boxes.
Ah, yes. Tangible logic.
Pure fledgling logic, the text calls it. Geometric boxes, numbers, all lined up neatly with the sidewalk seams.
It's a different kind of comfort than, say, staring at galaxies like Big B might have done. It's human scale order.
And little s finds comfort there. You can skip and still keep the order. The process might be a bit messy, a child's drawing, but the underlying structure holds.
And this connects abstract order to actual planning.
I think so. Because right after that, her attention shifts to the squirrels.
The squirrel's burying nuts. Busy.
Very busy. And to the casual eye, maybe their dashes look random. But the digital eye sees something else.
What do you see?
Faint parabolae. Not random zigzags, but precise, incredibly fast if-then calculations. The squirrel is using geometry, memory, the environment.
To prepare for winter, to secure its future.
Exactly. And watching this gives little s one of the biggest insights of the autumn season.
Which is?
Preparation isn't fear. It's a kindness to your future self.
Oh, I like that. That's really good. Summer was spontaneous, but autumn is strategic. Planning ahead is an act of self-care.
Managing tomorrow's cognitive load by organizing today. It's beautiful, like you said.
This perfectly sets up the big conflict, doesn't it? When this tidy analytical system encounters something it just can't categorize neatly.
The paradox of right and good. Yes, this is the climax of the autumn phase.
Okay, walk us through it.
Little s is observing, scanning the map, checking the assets she's mentally cataloged, and she sees a child find a specific nut in the leaves. A really good one.
Okay.
And little s recognizes it. That exact spot, that potential resource. She had already accounted for it, marked it down mentally as a winter piece, filed away.
Oh, so the system flags an error or a conflict.
A massive conflict. Instant cognitive dissonance.
Yeah.
Because two truths are suddenly slamming into each other inside her ordered mind.
What are the two truths?
There's the system's imperative. Keep. Keep the pattern. Keep the stored resource. Follow the logic of survival and preparation. And then there's the feeling she observes, the raw data of the child's reaction. Glad. Pure, uncomplicated joy.
And the system can't hold both.
It tries. The sources say the whole system starts to shake at the edges. The map is failing because how do you map spontaneous joy against survival logistics? It doesn't compute.
This is where I maybe bump up against the purely analytical. Little s is about order. Shouldn't her instinct be to solve it? Decide which truth is right. Does the nut belong to the system or the joy?
That's exactly what the purely logical mind wants to do. Eliminate the contradiction. Find the right answer. But this is the moment autumn pivots from pure organization to something deeper.
How?
The architect steps in. Just with guidance. Not a solution, but a reframe. You saw it. You don't have to solve it.
You saw it, you don't have to solve it.
That feels satisfying. Almost like a defeat for the avatar of order. It might feel like that initially, but think about it. Is it defeat or is it graduating to wisdom? It's realizing the map has limits.
Okay.
The mind has to learn, the sources suggest, to carry these complex double truths, joy and loss, tidiness and the unexpected messiness of life, system and spontaneity, without forcing one to be wrong.
Because trying to solve it by prioritizing the system would mean
What?
taking the nut, destroying the joy.
Precisely. And little Tuckus realizes, maybe implicitly, that the goal of being ready, of having the plan, sometimes has to make space for things that are uncategorizable, even beautiful in their disruption.
So allowing the world to soften, accepting the contradictions, that's how the analytical mind finds calm. Not by solving everything, but by accepting some things just are.
That seems to be the key insight. That acceptance allows the system to stop shaking. It allows the final autumn constellation of insights to lock into place.
The constellation, okay, let's list those takeaways. The culmination of all this autumn work.
Right, so we have the seam map, that underlying grid of order.
The branch vein, the fractal connections, nature and system mirroring each other.
The double window, that big realization about layered identity, that contradiction is an error.
Then the tidy axe and the squirrel arc, reinforcing preparation as kindness.
And crucially, the soft no, the wisdom of gentle refusal. finding the easier path, and self with other accepting that paradox, the nut situation.
Okay. Gathering all those points together, that leads little s to a state of calm.
Yes, but it's not an empty calm. The material calls it stored attention, which I think perfectly describes a prepared mind.
Stored attention. Not empty, but provisioned. Ready.
Exactly. The pattern Autumn creates isn't a plan to act right now. It's a plan to be ready.
Readiness. That feels like the ultimate word for autumn. And being ready means leaving breadcrumbs.
Breadcrumbs in both directions, the source says. Out into the world, potential action later, and back toward warmth, reflection, safety, the inner stores.
A fully prepared state. Analytically ready.
And with that readiness achieved, the cycle turns again. Autumn ends.
And we transition into the next phase, the final one for this cycle. Winter, the long night lantern, and a new avatar, Big S.
Yes, Big S Autumn's sharp courage to understand gives way now to Winter's courage.
Which is?
The courage to rest and listen. Big S's whole job, essentially, is to keep the ember.
Keep the ember. Wow. So little S did all the mapping, all the organizing.
And now Big S has to navigate the silence that follows. Winter is about stillness, witness, observing what happens when the data collection stops.
The mind is organized, ready, but now faces quiet. Deep quiet.
Which leads to maybe the final thought for you listening, to take away from this autumn dive. If the goal was organization, readiness, what happens when that prepared mind just sits in silence?
What does happen?
Well, the sources suggest something quite beautiful. If you honor that silence, if you just keep the ember warm instead of trying to force a new fire,
Yes.
you discover that spring returns inside too. We aren't just one season, we're the turning of them all. The cycle itself teaches acceptance.
Acceptance, not just accumulation. That's a powerful thought to end on as things get colder and darker.
Indeed. We'll delve into that ember, that courage to rest, next time.
Until then, maybe keep an eye out for those patterns, those little corrections on the map.